This time, a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone detects a Russian soldier wandering across exposed terrain with no clear direction of movement and no visible support nearby. The area around him offers no cover, no defensive position, and no sign of nearby teammates. From above, the situation suggests he may have become separated from his unit, or possibly left behind during earlier fighting. Moments later, one nearby Ukrainian strike drones are redirected toward the reported position. Below, the soldier continues walking calmly for several more seconds, before suddenly sensing something unusual and lowering himself into a defensive posture on the ground. Above him, the drones steadily close the distance while maintaining visual contact. Still unaware of how close the threat has become, the soldier remains in place as one of the drones rapidly descends and commits to the attack. A group of Russian soldiers is seen moving into a ruined, abandoned house near the front line. Moments later, a Ukrainian drone identifies the position and launches an attack, destroying the structure shortly after the troops enter the building. A Ukrainian bomb-dropping drone detects a Russian soldier resting beside a roadside position near the front line and immediately releases ammunition toward the area. The initial strike leaves the soldier wounded and unable to get back to his feet after collapsing onto the ground. Moments later, the drone circles back overhead and releases a second munition, completing the engagement while maintaining continuous observation of the position from above. This time, a single wrong decision leads to a deadly outcome. A Russian soldier is seen standing completely still in the middle of a damaged village near the Chasiv Yar direction, carefully observing the area around him. Moments earlier, Ukrainian reconnaissance operators had already reported movement inside the village, prompting a nearby drone unit to move toward the sector. Below, the soldier refuses to move and continues standing in place, seemingly aware that something dangerous may be approaching, but uncertain exactly where it is coming from. Instead of retreating or searching for cover, he remains exposed while scanning the silent streets around him. Above the village, the Ukrainian drone reaches the area and quickly identifies the stationary figure below. Without hesitation, the aircraft rapidly descends from behind and commits to the attack before the soldier can fully react to the threat closing in overhead. The situation on the battlefield continues escalating, yet isolated Russian soldiers are still frequently seen moving alone across dangerous frontline sectors. This time, a Russian soldier is spotted moving near the ruins of buildings destroyed during earlier fighting. When reconnaissance operators from Ukraine's 414th Magyar Birds unit detect movement in the area from above. The soldier appears exhausted and possibly separated from his unit, searching for a temporary place to rest or hide among the shattered structures and scattered debris. Moments later, a Ukrainian strike drone unit is redirected toward the destroyed buildings and begins scanning the area carefully from low altitude. After several seconds of searching, the drone finally detects the soldier lying motionless beneath a bush near the rubble. Even as the aircraft closes the distance, the soldier makes no visible attempt to flee or relocate, remaining completely still beneath the vegetation. Seconds later, the FPV drone rapidly descends and commits to the attack directly against the concealed position. The war in Ukraine continues to intensify across the Donetsk direction, one of the most dangerous sectors along the front line. A Russian soldier is spotted attempting to cross a section of barbed wire defenses stretched across exposed terrain near the combat zone. Moments later, a drone operator from Ukraine's 414th Magyar Birds unit is rapidly redirected toward the reported position. Below, the soldier remains completely focused on navigating the damaged ground and tangled wire obstacles, seemingly unaware that a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone is already tracking his every movement from above. Perhaps believing the area to be temporarily secure, he continues forward without showing any real caution or urgency. At that moment, the Ukrainian strike drone unit arrives over the sector. Without hesitation, the FPV drone immediately drops altitude and accelerates directly toward the soldier's position. Only in the final seconds does the soldier appear to realize the danger approaching from above. He attempts to react and raise his weapon toward the incoming drone, but the aircraft commits to the attack too quickly, closing the distance before he can make any effective response. A Ukrainian MiG-29 fighter aircraft carries out a precision strike using AASM hammer-guided bombs against a 5-story building, reportedly being used by Russian assault units in the city of Radinsky, Donetsk region. In this situation, a drone operator from Ukraine's 414th Magyar Birds unit rapidly scans a frontline sector with an FPV drone, searching for any sign of Russian movement along a nearby tree line. While sweeping low across the area, the operator suddenly notices a shadow moving just outside the vegetation. The drone immediately turns back for a closer look, revealing a Russian soldier attempting to move along the edge of the trees without attracting attention. Moments later, the distance between the drone and the soldier closes rapidly, and the confrontation begins almost instantly under continuous aerial surveillance from above. A Ukrainian drone records an unusual moment on the front line as a Russian soldier signals upward, indicating surrender and revealing that 2 men remain at the position. Both appear shaken from an earlier strike, with one soldier visibly bandaged around the head. After several tense seconds of observation, the drone maintains distance and does not proceed with an attack, allowing the situation to de-escalate under aerial supervision. This time, a Russian soldier is seen standing completely motionless in an open grass field near the Zaporizhia direction, seemingly too afraid to move under the pressure of a Ukrainian drone circling nearby overhead. For several tense moments, he remains frozen in place, likely hoping the lack of movement will prevent the drone from locking onto his position. Moments later, the aircraft suddenly accelerates directly toward him. As the drone rapidly closes the distance, the soldier raises his weapon in a final attempt to fire back at the approaching aircraft. But the reaction comes too late, and the drone commits to the attack before he can respond effectively. The following situation unfolds inside a dense forest near the Kremenna direction. A drone operator from Ukraine's 414th Magyar Birds unit scans the woodland with an FPV drone after reconnaissance teams reported Russian activity nearby. Moments later, the operator notices a shadow beneath a tree and quickly turns back for a closer look. It is a Russian soldier resting under the tree cover. Seconds later, the drone rapidly descends and launches the attack before the soldier can react. This time, a Russian soldier is seen moving alone across exposed terrain without any nearby support, cover, or defensive protection. The area around him is completely open, leaving very few places to hide from aerial surveillance. Moments later, a Ukrainian optical reconnaissance drone detects the movement from above and rapidly changes direction toward the soldier's position. Instead of attacking immediately, the drone circles nearby at low altitude, creating visible psychological pressure while carefully observing every reaction from below. The soldier initially continues moving, but as the aircraft closes the distance and begins hovering nearby, he finally realizes he has been discovered. In a desperate reaction, he raises his weapon and attempts to fire toward the approaching drone, hoping to force it away before a strike can begin. The effort fails to slow the aircraft, which continues maneuvering around him while maintaining visual contact from above. In another sequence filmed near ruins destroyed during earlier heavy fighting, a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone detects a Russian soldier crawling through shattered debris, searching for a place to hide. Broken walls, collapsed concrete, and burned wreckage surround the area as the soldier moves deeper into the ruins, attempting to find shelter. Completely focused on concealment, he appears unaware that a drone is already tracking his movement from overhead. Moments later, a nearby Ukrainian strike drone unit is redirected toward the reported position and rapidly descends toward the hiding area before the soldier can relocate again. The next scene unfolds near a forest edge where intense clashes regularly erupt between both sides. A Ukrainian reconnaissance drone carefully scans the tree line and surrounding grass fields for signs of movement, After several moments searching the terrain, the drone eventually detects a group of Russian soldiers moving together along a narrow trail outside the forest. The formation appears organized, possibly preparing for an assault or repositioning operation near the front line. After identifying the group, the drone continues scanning deeper inside the woodland to check for additional movement or hidden positions. Once no other nearby activity is detected, the reconnaissance team maintains aerial observation while tracking where the soldiers relocate. Eventually, the group settles inside the trees, hoping the vegetation will provide concealment and a temporary place to rest. But only moments later, a Ukrainian strike drone unit arrives over the reported sector and rapidly descends toward the concealed position, continuing the attack before the group can disperse or escape deeper into the forest. Ukrainian border drone teams track down something rarely seen near the North Slobozhansk direction, an armored personnel carrier moving close to the front line. Vehicles like this are appearing less often now, as Russian forces attempt to preserve valuable equipment from constant aerial surveillance. From above, the drone maintained steady observation, waiting for the right moment while the vehicle crossed exposed terrain under growing battlefield pressure.